This is an extraordinary story of a boy who loved computers more than anything else, a passion that not only catapulted him to super success, but also changed the world we live in. From hacking computers at the age of 13 to becoming a self-made billionaire at 31, Bill Gates has shaped the course of information technology more than anyone else and made the personal computer a household name. He is truly a role model for his extraordinary achievements and philanthropic work. The man whose wealth swells by millions per day has pledged to give away most of his fortune to charity. Bill Gates' net worth is greater than the GDP of Croatia, Cambodia, and the Bahamas combined. It is said that if Gates spent $1 million a day, it would take him another 285 years to spend his fortune. William Henry Gates was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington, into a well-to-do family. His parents wanted him to pursue a career in law, but the destiny had other plans. Gates was first introduced to computers at his Lakeside prep school. He immediately fell in love with computers and wrote his first software program, Tic-Tac-Toe, at 13. The authorities at his school recognized his programming skills and asked him to create a program to schedule students in classes. He acknowledged the role of his school in a 2005 speech. "Lakeside was one of the best things that ever happened to me. One reason I'm so grateful to Lakeside is that I can directly trace the founding of Microsoft back to my earliest days here." In 1970, Gates and Paul Allen worked on their first business venture, Trafodata, a program that monitored traffic patterns in Seattle. Gates was just 15, and this project fetched them $20,000, which is approximately $130,000 in today's value. Gates and Allen were determined to start their own company, but Bill's parents wanted him to pursue college after his school education. After graduating from Lakeside School in 1973, Gates enrolled at Harvard. Paul Allen dropped out of Washington State University to work at Honeywell in 1974, while Gates, much to his parents' dismay, dropped out of Harvard in 1975 to co-found Microsoft with Paul Allen. This was the beginning of Microsoft, the software company which grew from a tiny space to become an IT behemoth. Microsoft, the company that we know today, was not built in a day. It did have its share of struggles and roadblocks, but Bill, with his quick-thinking ability and decision-making, ensured that the company never lost momentum. When MITS announced the Altair 8800 computer in 1975, Bill and Allen were quick to spot an opportunity. Bill approached MITS and told them that he was working on a basic interpreter for the platform, but in reality, Gates and Allen did not have any written code for the system. The duo, however, developed the program over the course of a few weeks and successfully demonstrated the same to MITS. Following this, they struck a deal with MITS to distribute the interpreter as Altair Basic. In the initial 5 years, Gates reviewed and quite often rewrote every line of code that Microsoft produced. These values played an important role in the growth and rise of Microsoft. Gates placed himself as the head of the company at the age of 23. The biggest opportunity for Microsoft came in 1980 when IBM approached them for an operating system for its upcoming personal computer, the IBM PC. Microsoft did not have the software, but they would not let go of the opportunity, so they struck a deal with Seattle Computer Products, SCP, for an exclusive license of 86-DOS, a program developed to run on computers similar to the IBM PC. They bought the program and delivered it to IBM as PC-DOS for a one-time fee of $50,000. This deal did not earn them much, but IBM adopting their operating system brought huge prestige to Microsoft, and this was the origin of Microsoft's transformation from a small business to the leading software company in the world. IBM wanted to buy the source code for the software, but Gates refused and proposed that IBM pay a licensing fee for the copies of the software sold with their PCs. This was definitely a far-sightedness. With his acumen for software development and a keen business sense, Gates became the president and chairman of the board in 1981. The Windows advertising campaign in 1983 was another masterstroke from Bill Gates. The announcement was actually a bluff, as Microsoft had no such program under development, and it actually took them 2 years to release it. Since Bill had seen the graphic interface of Apple's Macintosh, he was convinced that this type of interface posed a great threat for MS-DOS and Microsoft. So to stop the MS-DOS users to switch to another system, he quickly made this announcement. It was a sheer genius, as nearly 30% of the computer users at that time were using MS-DOS. As a result of this announcement, they would wait for Windows, then switch over to Mac. It started a war between Apple and Microsoft, but eventually Bill emerged a winner. Microsoft went public in March of 1986, and Bill Gates became a billionaire in 1987 at 31. By 1995, his fortune had grown to $12.9 billion, and he became the world's richest man, a title he held for several years. With his passion and hard work, Bill Gates created a super successful technology company, which not only made him the richest man in the world, but also revolutionized the personal computer. Steve Jobs once summarized the contribution of Bill Gates in these words: Bill built the first software company before anyone in the industry knew what a software company was. Success and power didn't go to Bill Gates' head. It actually made him wiser. While reading a news article about suffering in the developing world, the thought of doing something came into his mind, and this was the beginning of his philanthropic mission. He set up the William H. Gates Foundation in 1994, which took full shape in the forms of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in 2000. From setting up Microsoft to taking it to great heights, Bill Gates was always a man on a mission. He exhibits the same zeal when he talks about eradication of malaria and polio and controlling the spread of tuberculosis and HIV. Gates continues to spend billions every year towards environment, health, education, and sanitation. He had pledged to donate most of his wealth to charity and also convinced several other billionaires to donate the majority of their wealth to philanthropic causes through the Giving Pledge. He has said that he will leave only $10 million to each of his children, just a fraction of his wealth. Rather than just retire and enjoy his wealth, Bill Gates focuses his time, energy, and wealth on making the world a better place. He doesn't just do things because he can. He does things because they matter. I hope you will judge yourself not on your professional accomplishments alone, but on how well you treated people a world away who have nothing in common with you but their humanity. These words by Bill Gates aptly summarize the man and his mission. Please like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get more such inspiring videos.